Hey, Jacob.
Oh, hey, Matt.
What are we driving today?
It's a bloody Hyundai Tucson Hybrid.
Not just any Hyundai Tucson Hybrid, it's the facelifted Hyundai Tucson Hybrid. Not only do we get the hybrid, but now it's also facelifted. It might not actually look it on the outside, there are changes. It is the inside that has been almost entirely overhauled. And they're doing that for a very good reason. That's because last month, Toyota sold the most amount of RAV4s they have ever sold.
It was a bloody record-breaking month.
And then, of course, BYD have just entered the Australian market with their Sealion 6, which we've reviewed. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I said in that video, it was the best SUV I've ever reviewed.
Hey, you were raving about that thing.
Yeah, and deservedly so. It is certainly a lot cheaper than this. But the headlining thing here is that across the range, prices have gone up between like $3,500 to $4,000. And this is an all-new model here, the all-wheel drive hybrid, and it will set you back $61,100 with this N-line package before on-road costs.
Bloody hell, bro.
That's
cheap. Pretty primo price.
So this thing here, Jacob, has to be pretty damn epic to be able to RIP both the RAV4 and the BYD Sealion 6.
You know what, bro?
What?
I think it's an RIP RAV4.
Let's get into it. Let's talk about the way that this thing looks. What has changed as part of this facelift? Can you tell?
I'll be honest, man, it's very hard to spot the difference. Maybe the front bumper?
It's really quite hard. Yes, that is one of the changes. So now you got a new bumper here. We do have the N-line kit, as I said. It ranges between like $4,000 to $1,500 more expensive as you go up in the range. It becomes less and less expensive because you start to get other features that you get as part of the N-line package. They're standard. But yes, it means you get this sporty bumper here with active aero, which is kind of cool, I guess. New is this grille, so it looks pretty much the same, but it's actually not. It's a bit wider, it's a bit chunkier, it's got a slightly new design to it. You still get the really cool integrated daytime running lights. Love these.
I love the look of them.
Yeah, turning signals are there. By the way, across the range now, it is fully LED lighting. Yay! Except for one spot, which I will show you, at least at the front anyway. You do have bright LEDs here too, so that's good to see. You've also got the new flat, matte, black, it's a lot of words, Hyundai badge there. And you'll also notice your radar is over here. And this has the N-line badge, of course, because we have the N-line package. I like the way that this thing looks, man.
It honestly looks hot and sexy.
It really looks hot and sexy, even in this red, and I don't usually like red. Wow. It actually looks gorgeous. Let's check out the side. Honestly, man, I think from the side, this is the best looking mid-size SUV.
I think it's just got some really nice styling points.
Really cool. Okay, let's talk about it. So you get these 19-inch alloy wheels here. It's the new wheel designs across the range, of course. Got the N badge there too. Even though this is an N-line, you get some N stuff on there, so that's kind of cool. You have these Nexon Rhodian GTX tires, which
they're not the worst, but they're not the best.
They're not the worst, they're not the best. We almost understeered off the road earlier, but that's okay.
We'll survive.
It be what it be. Actually, one thing to mention is with this new hybrid system, you actually get a almost torque vectoring style thing with the electric motors, so that's kind of cool. That just helps you corner. You have an N-line badge there. You've also got a 360 camera there, keyless entry. Ooh. No, love to see that, but you would expect it, especially at $61,100 before on-road costs. You have all these cuts and creases into the body, makes it look really damn cool. You've also got some very tinted privacy glass, like very, very tinted, blacked out roof rails there. And otherwise, it's a mid-size SUV, but a good looking one. Really like it from the side.
Love the look.
Let's check out the bum.
Let's do it.
So again, from the back, it's really hard to tell what has changed, but there are a few things. The biggest thing is the bumper down the bottom with real dual exhaust, despite this being a hybrid vehicle, which is I find pretty funny. And also because it has the N-line package, N is like their BMW M equivalent. It stands for Namyang, or the Nürburgring, where they have their performance divisions driving some of their coolest cars like the Ioniq 5N. And so it means you get this sporty package on here, Jacob.
I love the spoiler. What'd you call it before? Like vortex splitting or something?
Yeah, well, you see, it's got a spoiler and then it's got these little nubs on the top, and that's to stop vortexes. Vortices is, I think, they're plural. But anyway, what it actually does, who knows? But I guess it kind of looks cool. You've also got the Hyundai badge in there, which is kind of cool. Hybrid, of course, that is new. And the Tucson badging there. Now, let's talk about lights, because I love 95% of it. I love the design here. This doesn't really look like it's changed, but it just looks so good. Get the massive light bar at the back as well. However, Jacob, who in God's name, first of all, puts halogen bulbs
on a $61,000 car?
I don't like that. The other thing I don't like is why are they so low? they're down here. So if you're a car behind and let's say you're in a traffic light or whatever,
You will not be able to see that.
your bonnet like covers it. And I know this because I was driving behind Jacob today. It's just bad placement. I don't know why it's there. I wish it was up there. Surely it could have been up there. But anyway, rant over.
Very strange.
It's a nice looking bum.
I love it.
Let's talk about practicality.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, Daddy Jacob, let's talk about what the Hyundai Tucson can fit inside of its
Powered tailgate.
God damn it. It's actually a really good story. In Australia, we get the extended wheelbase version of the Tucson. In Europe, for example, it comes as just a standard wheelbase, but that means we get a stupid amount of room. 539 litres of boot space. That actually expands up to a pretty class-leading 589 litres amount of boot space. You could also just have it as a false floor, and you do have a space-saver spare wheel in there, which is great to see for an all-wheel drive hybrid because the battery lives under the second row of seats. You can, of course, drop the rear seats, but if you do so while the floor's down, you're going to have a hump. So just lift that back up. You get a fully flat area. And you also get a 12-volt socky-wocky back there, which is good to see. And so really, if we are going to compare this to the BYD Sealion 6, it does have quite a lot more practicality. But to be fair, that car does come with an 18 kilowatt hour battery or something. So,
Bro, stop making excuses. This wins, okay?
Let's go inside. Let's do it.
Sorry for the interruption, but I want to give a very quick shout out to ASUS for sending us over their all-new RTBE88U blazing fast Wi-Fi 7 router. What you guys might not know is Jacob and I are huge gaming nerds and even bigger file transferers, and the RTBE88U has now replaced my old router, and it's awesome. It's got blazing fast Wi-Fi 7 speeds of up to 7,200 megabits per second, dual 10G ports for 34 gigabit combined capacity. It's even got a quad-core 2.6 gigahertz CPU, which is 30% faster processing power than before, and there is so much more about it too. So if you want to learn more about this router, I've put the link for it down in the description below so you can check it out.
Alrighty, first of all, quality test.
Oh, thonk.
That was a thonk. You bash around and it's all
Very well put together.
pretty damn solid. Now, I'm going to make a big claim here, Jacob. I reckon this is my favorite interior of any mid-sized SUV.
Are you sure you don't prefer the BYD Sealion 6?
I think I prefer this. It is just, I don't know what to say, man.
Magnificent.
It's magnificent. Seriously, guys, like you come in here and it is completely overhauled versus what there was before. So let's just talk about everything new because it's, as I said, it's like everything. First of all, you get these dual curved 12.3-inch displays, incredibly snappy. You finally get wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. You've also got a good reverse camera with a pretty great 360 camera as well. Up in front of you is a digital instrument cluster that is super easy to use. You can just see a bunch of information, same information as before, but it's just so snappy. It works so well. Like we've said in other reviews, it's something like 18 times faster than it was before. Just a really, really good system with over-the-air updates as well, which is good to see. Storage is phenomenal. So they've moved the shifter from here to a column-mounted shifter there, and it works fine. You get used to it pretty damn quickly, and that just frees up all of this space here. It's almost like an electric car in that sense. So you have this massive open storage area that's actually got some rubberized coating to it so things don't slip around. You have a fast wireless Qi charger here with LED indicator lights, which is good to see, and it really does work. It actually charges your phone up without overheating it, which is good to see. You've also got a couple of air vents here and a really open storage area here, which would be great if it wasn't for, you know, it not being padded in any way. Or
it's almost like super slippery on purpose.
It's very, very slippery, so I wouldn't be putting many things up there if you can avoid it. You've also got new material choices throughout, so nice soft touch up here on the doors as well. You've also got this new, like, how would you describe it, cloth?
It feels sustainable.
It feels sustainable, exactly right. What I do love are the seats. Oh,
so nice.
Oh,
so goddamn nice.
Alcantara and leather. You get this as part of the N line. It's got like an N badge in there, red stitching, super duper comfortable, like very, very good. They're also heated and cooled. And the steering wheel as well, it is heated. It is an N steering wheel, apparently, really N line. Very nice to hold onto. It's a good leather unit with buttons to control absolutely everything. So again, good to see.
Very good to see.
Up in front of you, you have a bright heads-up display. That works well. Now, I will say a complaint of mine is actually quite minute to a lot of people, but to me, it's not. It's the speakers in here.
Yeah, they're not the best, actually.
It's the Bose branded sound system. It just doesn't sound that great. I have had to change the EQ. I'll put it up on the screen now to essentially reduce the highs and the mids and increase a bit of the bass. And that makes it acceptable, but certainly not like
class leading in any way. And it's weird because we've had much better speakers in some very similar Hyundai products.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at their Genesis products, they masterfully tune that to make the audio incredible, but here it just doesn't work very
To be fair, the materials are probably a lot nicer.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Full review coming soon. Here we have a massive glove box. You've also got a nice soft center armrest with heaps of storage on the inside as well. And in terms of charging, you have a USB-C port, which you can change between normal and a connection. I don't know why they do that. And you have another USB-C port and a 12-volt socky wocky.
Good to see.
Massive sunroof. It does open up like halfway. I wish it kind of went all the way like a lot of its competitors, but that's okay. I think that's nitpicking at this point. Like I said, you get in here and it's just such a nice interior, man.
Yeah, man. I love the new Hyundai.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's really, really nice. Okay, let's check out the back seats.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, guys.
Another nice thunk.
So, I'm 5'11". I've got heaps of legroom. Toe room as well is fantastic. Headroom is really, really good, even with this panoramic sunroof. And this is actually quite nice because it makes it quite airy and light in here, Daddy Jacob. Quality back here takes a little bit of a hit, but this is all nice and soft here. These outboard seats are heated, which is very good. Speaking of,
Absolutely gorgeous.
if you hadn't just sat in these seats, Jacob, I would have just smelt it. Let's pull this down.
You can still smell it.
This is nice and soft with a couple of cup holders. We've also got some air vents here, 2 more USB-C fast chargers, and of course you get dual map pockets. So yeah, a really nice place to be. Oh, forgot to mention this. Ooh, you can have a little nap back here. You know what doesn't nap, Jacob?
What?
CarSauce.com/buy. Guys, you see, we now have a team of people who work specifically for us to get you the absolute best deals on your next car. We have thousands of dealers who we work with, and we literally pit them against each other to get you the best price on your next car. And best of all, this service is totally free for you. We just charge the dealers a fixed fee, which means that we will always go in hardest to get you the absolute best price possible. So that sounds good to you, and it definitely should. Head to carsauce.com/buy.
Yeah, stop napping.
Enough. Let's launch it.
Let's launch it.
All righty, Daddy Jacob, as we creep up to our starting point. Piss off, my lover. Get out of here.
How dare she text you while we're filming?
So we're in,
I've told you about this before, bro.
we're in EV mode.
Let's do it.
Let's put the car now into
Sport
mode.
Ooh.
All right, it's a cold day.
It's perfect conditions.
Let's hope we do this well. Fist me.
Ooh.
Can we brake boost it?
No.
No. Here we go.
It's in EV mode.
Oh,
that was
silent takeoff.
A little bit gentle. Ooh, here we go.
Took a second, but
We're off to the races.
it's got good power. Oh, that is honestly.
That is so much better than I thought it was going to be.
He literally said just before we turned on the cameras, like, no way it's anything better than 8 seconds. Guess what, Jacob?
7.5
It's
on the dot.
7.50 seconds. I'm actually quite impressed with that.
Oh gosh, what have you done?
Let's
You've done some light off-roading in it now.
Let's drive this thing.
Let's drive it normally.
Righty, mummies and daddies.
It's Tucson time, baby.
We're in EV mode.
Oh.
Shh.
It's too quiet.
Sport mode. Come on.
Ooh,
Oh.
smooth.
Such a seamless transition, Jacob. All right, let's talk about what the hell is under the bonnet, because, well, there's a few options. Shh.
There's more than a few. There's like 50 options.
Yes, there's a lot of different variants. The long and short of it is,
Let's do this first, all right?
this is good. This is a good change. Hold the mute button up here. Oh, there we go. Now it shuts up.
Yes.
Very, very good, Hyundai.
Thank you.
You've made me happy that you've reneged on what was a pretty poorly implemented feature.
Thank you so much.
So, you can get this with the same 2-litre naturally aspirated engine with a 6-speed automatic transmission. It's not my favourite engine. Then there's also a 1.6-litre turbo petrol with a 7-speed dual clutch.
It's not my favorite
Which is,
transmission.
it's not my favourite transmission. The engine's fine, the transmission's not that great.
So, Fred,
There
what
was-
happens if you take the best engine and the best transmission?
And you tickle them together?
And you tickle them and you add a little bit of power.
Well, you go into EV mode,
Oh,
you put your foot down,
ooh,
and you get a car that is dynamically superior.
bro.
Oh no, the camera.
What is going on? Wait.
Gotta tighten it. So this thing has big shoes to fill because the diesel being killed, that was my favorite engine, and it was everyone's favorite engine, right?
Yeah.
Good torque, good transmission, it was a good engine.
Yeah.
So, Jacob,
what's the power of this 1.6 litre turbo petrol hybrid?
It's actually pretty good. You get 172 kilowatts of power, 367 newton meters of torque, so pretty healthy torque.
Healthy torque, not quite as good as before, but a lot better power than before, and you can feel that. You put your foot down, and actually you do get quite a lot of power at that higher speed. Torque is really good for low end, but this is really good for that top end. The other thing I actually quite like is when we are driving this car like we are now, we actually have regen paddles in eco mode. So you can see I'm on level 3 here. You don't really see that very often, and it just means that you can get a lot more regen into the battery before you have to actually hit the brakes and the disc brakes turn on.
And you know what, friend? I think they've done a pretty bloody good job with the fuel economy as you switch it to sport mode.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm doing so, and the engine will kick on, so you get maximum power and torque.
You can't even hear it turn on either. It's so smooth.
It's a really, I just felt the car understeer there, and I saw my life flash before my eyes. So, yes, this is the other thing, right? The fuel economy is just absurdly good. Oop, I've upshifted by accident. So even with driving like an idiot today, if we go up this way,
there we go.
Since I've gotten the car, we've done 2 hours and 20 minutes so far, 6.1 litres per 100 kilometres. And around town, I'm getting about 5.6 litres. And on the highway, I'm getting about 6 litres. So this thing
that is really good.
And it's about the same as what you'd find in a RAV4, which I didn't expect to say. I thought it'd be worse.
I know, and that's like pretty much the most frugal hybrid mid-size SUV you can buy. So that's pretty insane.
Well, it is the benchmark at the moment. And of course, like we said at the beginning of the video, it's also the BYD Sealion 6, which this will get better efficiency when that battery is depleted. But of course, that can go about 80 kilometers with purely electric mode only. So look, it's got stiff competition, and that's the issue with it. There are a lot of things that I do like about it, even though it has the global tuning of suspension. Hyundai don't tune their Australian suspension anymore. It is still pretty nice, comfortable, soft-ish. It's like a good, I think, medium point for a car that doesn't have adaptive dampers.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like it rolls too much, as we'll find out here.
Oh, we're gonna find out. You can tickle my little pickle.
Oh,
let's go up here.
Ooh, saucy corner time.
So you can feel that the electric motor starts off and then that petrol motor kicks in. All right, hairpin numero uno. Steering is relatively light, but it's actually quite good. We, of course, have all-wheel drive, as you can see on our display.
Thank God. Oh, no.
A bit of understeer there.
A bit of a four-wheel drift.
Cut power.
Whew. Okay.
But this thing, it is really good, and it's always been really good. So they haven't really touched anything to do with the way it handles, the suspension.
They didn't need to.
They didn't need to.
That was pretty awesome, man. Like, genuinely impressive. And I remember the first time we drove up the RAV4, we were pretty mind-blown as well with how well it did. That was, honestly, maybe better.
Maybe, yeah. I think so. I think I prefer the way that this drives versus a RAV4.
Yeah, and I think I prefer the interior as well. But
the interior is really nice. The other thing that this now gets that's new and is very, very good is the highway driving assist. We've seen it on a lot of their other products. For example, the new Santa Fe, which of course we've reviewed and we'll link that down below, but it will essentially, on mapped highways in Australia, or major highways anyway, it will have a level above in terms of its autonomous driving. It's kind of like level, I think, can't remember, but 2.5. Something like that. It's just really good at steering you in the center of the lane, keeping you a safe distance from the car in front of you, and it just does it better and more confidently than it did before.
Nice.
So I think overall,
feature to have.
It's like a really well-sorted, well-driving car. Obviously, we have the top spec here, but I still don't say the same of that naturally aspirated 2-litre, which it just feels like it's...
I think they're going to axe it soon.
Well, maybe not. It just feels like it's got asthma. It's like a bad engine, I think. And then you've got the 1.6-litre turbo petrol, and that dual-clutch transmission genuinely just ruins it. Whereas this, because it has an electric motor, it like has torque smoothing over when it shifts gears, so it's almost imperceptible. Like it just has a lot of smarts that the other engines don't. And I do think it is a good successor to the diesel. RIP to the diesel, but this thing, it does pretty much everything that does and more. So.
Yeah, but it's a lot more expensive.
But it is a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
All right, and with that,
Final thoughts.
Alrighty, Daddy. Jacob.
Bro, this thing is freaking awesome.
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When I saw the prices, I was just like, you can't be serious. Like, that is a lot of money, especially for this. Do I think you need to go for the top of the range N-Line, $61,100? No, I really don't.
But you probably need to go for the top of the range powertrain.
I think so. The hybrid is definitely the one you want. Get it as a front wheel drive, get it as the mid-spec elite, and I think you've got a really good, well-priced car that drives fantastically well. This one here is just a lot of money. Still, I would get one of these over a RAV4
but I don't think I would get one of these over a BYD Sealion 6, just because that comes with essentially the same amount of kit for quite a lot cheaper, and in some instances, it is better, like it's pure 80 kilometers of range. But if you want to learn more about that, I'll link that review down below. And of course, if you want to buy one of these, or a BYD Sealion 6, or a Toyota RAV4, whatever, head to carsauce.com/buy. My team will get you the absolute best prices with cars that are in stock, totally free for you. Jacob,
Hell yeah.
ciao for now.
Bye-bye.